All right, with 18 online and a whole bunch in here, I mean, I'm gonna roughly say we got what, 60 people or so without counting. I'd have to take my shoes off. Y'all don't want that. Uh, but again, welcome. It's like me and Don was talking. If y'all don't realize you're busy right now, you're busy. And for everybody in here to take time out of their schedule to be at this meeting and the ones online, man, I'm gonna tell you what, that's shows a lot of interest in the underground. God, my mind just went blank. Damage prevention would be an easy way to put that, and everybody wanting to work together to do what we can to prevent damages and go from there. Are you?
Well, yeah, actually, you know what? We need to do a level 1 safety.
Yes.
Um, eh, Bill,
Bill.
would you do us kindly the honor of doing a level 1 safety, please, sir?
Well, you know I'm not here.
Well, I know you're not here, but
All right. You know, there's nothing like being commandeered. All right, guys, I don't really need this. Good morning, folks. That was weak. We ain't gonna get through this if you don't. Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
There. All right. Welcome to the facility here. I know you all been here 15 times. What we'd like to do is go over the level 1. In case of fire or evacuation, I would like for you to exit through this door, turn left, go out to the foyer, go out that door, go to the sidewalk. There's where Miss Tammy and Miss Ann will count and make sure that all the chickens are here. If that way is blocked, I would rather you go out this back door, go out the back door to the patio, hang an immediate left, go out through that black gate. Once again, go to the sidewalk. See, she's counting chickens. Okay, the AED and first aid kit is just out this door. Turn left, go to the first little nook where you see the popcorn cart. The AED's on the wall, so is the first aid stuff. I need a volunteer for the AED that knows how to use it. Don't make me pick. Come on, volunteers. Thank you, young lady. And how about a person for the first aid? Go on this side. Oh, you're volunteering somebody else? All right. Now let's see who's going to lead us out. I forgot that one. And Miss Ann and Miss Tammy, you go follow us up. Okay, we got to find something for Richard to do. In case of, let's see, the fire pull box is right out here on the wall, also right beside the fire extinguisher. Active shooter, ABCs, avoid, barricade, confront. They've actually changed this a little bit, but I'm still going to go with the old one for right now. Avoid, barricade, confront. If you can, run, leave. If you can't, barricade. This is not a great room with all the glass. I would recommend going to one of these smaller rooms or back here where it's not seen, and confront, last resort. Anything's fair game. I always like the picture I put in the thing of using a fire extinguisher to beat them in the head. Of course, I also prefer a weapon, but we don't have them. Severe weather, which I hope we're not going to have any. We might have some rain. Are the restrooms? They are. Go out this door, turn left, go all the way down the hallway, follow the little arrow sign. There's 2 restrooms back there. Once again, Miss Ann, Miss Tammy, follow up and check and make sure everybody's there. Have I missed anything?
3 points of contact.
That's right. We don't have no steps or stairs around here, but if you do, you find a set. Use 3 points of contact. That is the one good thing about this place.
Cell phones and driving.
Cell phones and driving, that's not on the deal, but I will add it. If you want to get on my great list, please use your cell phone and either drive 10 mile an hour slow or weave into my lane. There's 2 places you can stay for free: out of my lane and out of my business. At least like one person got it. Come on, guys. All right, I'm gonna turn you over to the boring and dry, Mr. Richard. I mean, Sahara dirt dry.
Thank you, Bill.
Oh, yellow, black with a green stripe, and they go shh.
When they're not located properly.
Now that would be called something else. I don't want to-
No, no, that was all in kidding, folks. That was all in kidding, but, oh, yours toward me wasn't, I know. Yeah. But again, thank you everybody for being here. And, at this time, we'll turn it over to Miss Tammy.
Thank you, sir. Everybody, just as a reminder, I have started recording. So there's no way you can say you didn't know about gas lines because we got Bill saying that a little bit. So recording has started. With that, I'm going to pop right in there. May, even though it's almost over, is National Military Appreciation Month. And we want to take that time to honor the sacrifices of the United States Armed Forces. That includes Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force. The U.S. military force is 2.2 million strong. And again, that includes National Guard and reserve units. There were a lot of military related observances during the month of May. More so during the month of May than any other month. So it is very appropriate and just right for us to say that we want to honor and appreciate those folks in uniform. And don't forget, it's not just that person that serves, it's that whole family. Everybody in that family serves if someone serves. So if you have served in the past, if you tried to serve and weren't able to, family members, thank y'all very much.
Man,
Yes, sir, please.
do we have any veterans in here? If you're a veteran, would you please stand up, please?
Woo, woo.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for y'all's service. I'm sorry, but that,
No, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
and the ones online, if you were a veteran, thank y'all also.
10 electrical safety rules. May was National Electrical Safety Month. And just remember that safety starts with each and every one of us. It doesn't mean just electrical. It means safety as a whole. It starts with each and every one of us. One of the things I'm going to say is just a reminder that water and electricity don't mix. Make sure that you're working safely. Turn off the electrical box, the outlet box, power box, whatever you call it, the breaker box, when you're doing work, if you are qualified to do that work. Had a time many years ago, I was replacing an electrical, a light fixture at home, and I called my dad. And I was like, okay, walk me through the steps. And he said, this and this, you don't even have to turn off the breaker box. And I said, oh no, you might not have to turn off the breaker box. I have to turn off the breaker box. I'm not messing around with it. So those 10 electrical safety rules are listed there. Please keep those in mind. And if you're not sure what you're doing, folks, call a professional and let them take care of that for you. Some hot topics. So typically we ask Lewis to give us some updates, but this month and next month we've done some hot topics. These are things that are happening around the state, some concerns or issues that we're seeing around the state. So in the western part of the state, Tyler was having some concerns out there with folks who were whitelining and adequately describing the area where work was to take place. Also updating locate requests with different addresses or additional addresses. Southeast, guess what? That was me. Entering locate requests prior to even having permits to do the work. We're seeing that as a problem. You know, if you have not been awarded a job or you don't even have permits to do that job yet, you are just helping to put that noise in the system, that we talk about. Updating tickets long after work's been completed. And we were seeing a problem with that in the Cabarrus County area. Fortunately, we were able to sit down with an excavator, Ann and I, and a couple of folks from Dominion, and we're able to go over some of the reasons why this may be happening. And I can't tell you how grateful I am for that excavator who said, you know, let's see what we can do to help take care of this. In the eastern part of the state with Howard out near the coast, again, making sure that you have all approvals, including DOT encroachments, municipal permits, state approvals before you submit that locate request. And for Awesome in the Piedmont Triad area, same thing. Making sure that you have permits, state, county, and municipal permits before you enter those locate requests. And still, again, too many updates on locate requests that don't need to be updated. April wrapped up National Safe Digging Month. Metcon Construction had a meeting there in the upper right. We were able to participate there. The Martinsville race in Martinsville, Virginia, there was the Xfinity, NASCAR, and the truck series as well. And I will be the first person to tell y'all, I don't know a whole lot about racing, but I had a blast out there. It was such a good time talking to folks from around the United States. There were a number of 811 centers, stake center locate. There were so many folks out there participating that we just were able to touch and talk to people and really get that message across and have some fun in the meantime. You can see Josh Williams there. He was a blast. Locator Safety Awareness and Appreciation Week. Chris McCandless was indemnified as a locator at the Guilford UCC. The treasure hunt went on all April long, and Sean McBride was able to collect his big check the other day. He won the $300. And Max and Macy down there in the bottom remind you to call 811 before you dig. I think that maybe sometimes they don't, but we're going to give them a pass. Events, the Durham Bulls tonight in Durham, North Carolina, 428 Morris Street, starting at 6:30, be out there talking to folks, handing out goodies. I'm going to save that joint conference for just a little bit. LRPC, I'm going to stop right there for just a second and ask Dan if he has any updates, and Roger's coming your way, coming in hot with the microphone. Any updates for the LRPC?
Nothing specific. I mean, well, I think next meeting is July there. We met, what was the last month here? Digging through these update tickets that was on the list for everybody really. So, glad to hear that y'all met with the folks in Cabarrus County too. So, yeah, I mean, we're still kind of plugging away with it. We met with one of the contractors there with the LRPC, me and Ann, and hopefully we'll be able to touch base with them again and see what we can get wrapped up with them too.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Ann or Lewis, anything else you want to add to that?
I'll just add a little bit of the fact that we are trying to continue to work on no-call damages through notifications, just through courtesy emails and letters. We're hopeful that that's going to continue to chip away at some of those, especially since we did the analysis that's up on the website that really shows it's not an awareness issue as much as it's a choice that's made in those circumstances not to call by people who typically do, or they didn't extend it, or whatever the case might be. So we're hopeful that that will also help to reduce damages, especially damages from no call. So
Thank you so much. And folks, just as a reminder, reach out to each other, communicate, 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 communicate. Pre-con meetings, I can't tell you how important that is. Be in touch with each other. And if you're the person putting in those locate requests, make sure that you're putting good contact information on there, that your voicemail is set up, or that your voicemail isn't full where someone could leave you a message. So thanks, folks. With that, we will pop into locate requests and transmissions. I know you all are going to be surprised to hear me say this, but believe it or not, a 1.4% decrease for the month of April. Doesn't happen a whole lot, but a little bit of a decrease for the month of April. We always tend to think of a decrease as a bad thing. If we see that negative mark, we think, oh no, this is terrible. Not always a bad thing. Locate requests for the month of April, 205,000, almost 206,000. Last year for the month of April, 208,778. So a decrease of 1.4%. However, we are still at an increase for the year, 866,772, 9% over last year. Last year at this time, we were just shy of 796. Updates of those tickets, 63,863 of those were updates. That's 31% of that volume. Again, hammering away, making sure that if that work's completed, or if you don't need that entire 5 stretch of job, then you don't need to call in that entire 5 mile stretch of job. Transmissions down just a little bit, 1.3%, 1.1 million for the month of April. Again, year to date still increased 7.6%, 4,600,000. As always, the difference between the locate request and the transmission. The locate request, or the ticket, that's what you're calling in or entering. I'm putting in a mailbox. A transmission is how many utilities are notified about every single locate request. Right now, on average, for every 1 locate request, there are 5.4 utilities notified. So in that area where that mailbox is going, there might be water, sewer, gas, fiber, and electric. Let's pop in the numbers for the month of April. New tickets were actually down 15,607, an 11.3% decrease over new tickets the year prior. Total tickets, though, total tickets include retransmits and updates. Total tickets for Mecklenburg County for the month, 29,513, a 5.2% decrease. Average locates per day, 1,553 average locates per day for Mecklenburg County. Total tickets for Mecklenburg, new tickets down just a hair, 3.9%. On the new ticket side for the year to date, that's January 1 through April 30. Total tickets are at 124,769. That's a 3.2% increase in total tickets year to date for Mecklenburg. Ticket distribution for Mecklenburg County. Nobody is ever surprised to hear that most of that is in Charlotte. 23, let's say 24,000 of those locate requests. Huntersville, Cornelius, Matthews coming in not terribly far. Okay, maybe a little bit behind, but coming in behind. Damage events. Damage events reported for the month of April were 127 for Mecklenburg County. Grand total damage events reported for the month of April, 826. And as you can see, that telecommunications or fiber, cable TV, that encompassed a large part of that work that was called in as a damage. 141 for cable TV, telecommunications 362, even one for steam. Will Prescott, folks, if you don't know Will, he is just a fantastic guy. Will is the Chief Utility Locator for Greenville Utilities Commission. He's been with Greenville Utilities Commission for almost 8 years. He was recognized as a damage prevention MVP, most valuable professional. Will has been locating for more than 22 years, and he currently manages a team of over 10 locators. They're responsible for locating electrical, water, sanitary sewer, natural gas, and fiber optic in Greenville and the surrounding area within Pitt County. He does damage investigations for any damages that occurred at Greenville utility facilities. He's actively involved in the Pitt County UCC and currently is serving as their chairperson. And if anyone took any of the locator training at the joint North Carolina, South Carolina UCC, then Will was one of those folks you saw there. He serves as an instructor and was lead instructor for the locating class offered by North Carolina 811 at the mock gas line strike. He's got certifications from Staking University, and that is a world recognized locate training organization. Will has a passion for helping folks involved in locating to be the absolute best they can be. And he has a really strong desire to bring professionalism to that industry and is working towards a state certification program for all locators within the locating industry. You know, that's a professional job and it needs to be recognized as such. Will likes to say that let your work drive your locate tickets. That helps avoid unnecessary locates and allows his team to work more efficiently and locate where actual construction is taking place. And someone popped in online and said, Will did an amazing job. So thanks, y'all. We appreciate that. I'm going to back up just for a second and ask Ann Lewis, anyone who was a part of, I know Roger was there, the joint North Carolina, South Carolina UCC, anything you want to share from the joint UCC?
It was just to say it was a great conference. We had a lot of good folks. I think we had 293 attendees is what I heard yesterday from Miss Sandra Johnson. And we had some really excellent presentations, one of which was from a gentleman from the FBI about cyber and ransomware, cyber terrorism. Very illuminating. I think it's great that the folks from North Carolina did such a great job putting this together and pulling in speakers that covered a pretty wide range of items. It was a good time. It was very informative and enjoyed it greatly.
Just to dovetail on to what Lewis said, absolutely, the conference was great. Thanks to all of those that worked so hard. Lindsay's here. Thank you for all your hard work. I did want to let everyone know that we are going to post the presentations onto the NCUCC website. The only one that will not be there is absolutely the one that Lewis spoke about, the cybersecurity. In fact, before he left, he made sure that we deleted all traces of that presentation. And so if you were not able to be there, I hate the fact that we cannot share that, but he was a great speaker. We will have those posted up in the next day or so. So if you would like to go and download some of those presentations, they will be under the joint conference tab on the NCUCC website.
I also want to reiterate what a great conference it was. And we talked about it in Raleigh, Wake County yesterday. And this is probably one of the most friendly spousal conferences. I do quite a few conferences, and that's one thing that 811 is exceptional about. And next year we go to Charleston, South Carolina. It's South Carolina's turn, but if you've never been to the conference, it's worthwhile. There's a lot of great networking and opportunities to it. So if you never get a chance to go, you know, plan it next year if you can.
I just wanted to say thanks to Don real quick. Since he's here, he took time to come and speak about damage prevention, and we appreciated him being there. And thank you to anyone who's here who attended. It was a great conference, and we'll do it again next year in South Carolina, and then back the next year in North Carolina.
That's all, it's all you, sir. I went back to your favorite slide. Or, you know what? I guess I could go, fine. Y'all know those faces. We do this every month. You've seen them before. Thanks to Awesome for being on the call with us. And the last slide, appreciate you being here. A PDF copy of this presentation as well as our roster. For the folks that are in the room, please make sure you sign the roster. And for you folks online, please make sure that you did put your contact information in the chat section for anyone who wants to get in touch. As well as the recorded copy will go out on the website as well. Any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions for me? Be nice. Don't hurt my feeling too bad. I usually tell people I have one feeling left. I raised 2 daughters. It typically does not get hurt that easily. So, all right, it's all you, sir.
She's gonna go back to the numbers, and while she's doing that, I would like to say too that that was a good conference. I'm a coattail on everybody else. If you didn't make it, you did miss out on a lot of good information that was shared. And next year you said South Carolina, so if y'all can make it, that would be great. But with that, Tammy did go back to my favorite slide, I guess you could say. And what was the month deal though, instead of comparison?
So
Steve got-
locate requests for the month were down 5.2%. For the year, we're still up, but for the month of April, just down for total tickets, 5.2%.
Okay. We're looking, I mean, honestly, and y'all know I look at these numbers all the time, but my biggest thing, and Dan, I'm gonna say the updates from a year ago is down 6.6%. So I think we're getting that message out, even with the locate resolution committee and the liaisons going out and visiting people that's doing this, and then everyone in here looking at their tickets and going, oh crap, I don't need that one in there anymore. We shouldn't have been updating it. And you know, and I go back to my buddy Sam. He always says, you know, you got to clean your own house. So you can't get on somebody else if you're doing it or not doing it. You know, where's that right to do that? So if you're a field worker, be sure you communicate with the office people that's doing the tickets if you're not doing them yourself when that job's complete. That way it knocks it down. And I'm gonna get to Don here in a few minutes, but me and him's talking before the meeting, and y'all's tickets is about like what we got up here, isn't it? Yeah, so some of those damages that you had up there, that 127, something else I thought about is contributed to what Lewis said with the no calls. I would say with the people not calling in the tickets, and that's causing a lot of these damages. And my thing is they must have deep pockets if they're out there excavating without a locate ticket and they're causing these damages, especially to power, gas. You know, that's your 2 major ones right there. Water is very important. People like to be able to turn that handle and water come out. And when they push that other handle, they like to see it go down. So if you stop that, then some people's not happy. And God forbid you cut their cable off too. They can't be watching Jerry Springer and Maury and all them to see who the baby daddy is. Yes, sir. When they call in a damage like you're supposed to do by law, that's where these numbers come from. Well, that's a
Actually,
discussion
they,
that we, go
yeah.
ahead, Lewis.
No, I was going to say they actually come from a variety of places, but mostly, yes, it is the requirement that the excavator, when there's a damage, notify NC 811 and notify the operator. That is what the statute requires. But obviously, the operators know when they've been damaged, and that information, when we can get at it in a timely manner, we can, quickly reach out with some courtesy emails and letters. Again, just to remind them. And, again, we were curious to know if it was it ignorance that they didn't call? But we knew that actually that it wasn't, because some of those folks that had done those damages call in regularly. So there was other circumstances involved. And that was one of the things we tried to get at. There's a study that we performed beginning of this year that's up on our website. If you go to nc811.org and go up to resources, it's under the incident analysis tab. There's a piece there that says no call damage analysis. And it was from the survey that we conducted. And really, there's a wide variety of reasons as to why somebody did not get called or was cited with a no call damage. So it's just interesting to be able to read that and get some insight onto it. People know about the message. They make a conscious choice. And like you said, it's a roll of the dice, Richard. Not what I would want to take. Roger, sorry, Jesus, it's the Sanders thing's got me. So Roger, it's a roll of the dice for folks, and hopefully, it only has to happen once that they get a large bill, and that's the last time they ignore that process, that part of it.
All right. So Roger asked me to talk a little bit about the Underground Review Board, as one of the items that has come before the review board is non-emergencies. So we did hear a couple cases at our last meeting, and just want to remind folks that if you are placed in an emergency that does not meet that definition and it does come before the review board, obviously your story needs to be heard and told. So that's one of the items that we looked at. And then we are continuing to see a couple items of electricians that are placing ground rods with no one call ticket as well. So just a reminder there, if you're seeing this out in the field, please remind folks that that does require a ticket for those utilities to be located. We do have a new administrator staff person. Cindy has left the Underground Review Board for Capitol Hill, and Catherine Hertel is our new admin staff for that. So we'll see her at our next meeting as well. And just want to remind folks, please come out and be a part of that. It is held at the NC 811 Event Center.
Thank you, Ann and Lewis, for that. Did that answer your question? All right. Something I forgot to mention too at the beginning, I know this is the last day of May, but May was also Mental Health Awareness Month. And I apologize for not mentioning that right off the bat. If you haven't looked at those statistics, it is astronomical at the suicide rate in construction. I would say if your company does not have some kind of mental health program in place, you may want to look at that and look at that pretty quick. We had, and I'll talk about our company here for a minute, but we actually had an employee come to us. Never knew anything was going on until he came to us with a problem. We were able to get him resources, and about a week later, he came up, thanked us for everything, and it has helped not only himself, but his sons. y'all know the suicide prevention hotline number has changed. They condensed it down to 988. Simple number, took away the 800 number to just 988. One thing that we have done is we have the 988 hard hat stickers for all employees. And we are looking at putting that number on the back of our trucks. That way, if somebody pulls up behind it and going through something, they may see that number and reach out. But just always think about that and check on your people. It's worse than what you think it is. With that though, our numbers, I just wanted to me look good. Even though I know our locates per day is up almost about 100 or so from the previous month. Guys and gals, from a contractor standpoint, y'all are doing a heck of a job with what you got to work with. You know, your locators, y'all can only locate what the facility owner gives you on that map, and their stuff's getting put in the ground quicker than they can update it. So that goes back to everybody working together on it. If you're out there excavating and you see something, you run up on a line or something that wasn't located, try to figure it out, call your locator, get it back. That can make the difference in something being added on the map or you shutting a whole complex down. So again, it goes back, and we won't say it enough, but communication with everybody. And you said there's 34 people in here and 17, 18 online, 51, 52 people. This meeting, man, that's great. That is great. And I'd say there's no reason there that I'll just say 50 people, we can't all communicate and get stuff taken care of. I know it's aggravating sometimes. How many times a day your phone ring, Don, because somebody got a question, or George, me and you've talked quite a few times. He over there messing with it now. I see you turning it off. I'm not calling you. You'll be all right. But no, from our standpoint, from a contractor standpoint, and there's another one here, I'm gonna visit him. But again, if we all work together, I know it was 127 damages for Mecklenburg County. If you look at that, 127 out of 30,000 tickets, it's really not bad. It could be worse, but let's not look at it that way. Let's make it better. All right, in the next few months, I'm gonna throw it out there because, you know, us and Wake, we're always back and forth. And for the ones that can't see it, Wake only had 112 damages. I would love to see Mecklenburg below 100.
Hey, that's 2 months in a row, Roger.
I knew you was going to chime in on that. Well, you know, we can't always be first at everything. We have to feel sorry for the losers sometimes and just let them win so they'll stay in the game.
And if you want to get really aggressive about it, take the CGA challenge and reduce your damages by 50% in 5 years. 50%. That's what they're shooting for.
That's a fair challenge. I'll throw it out to this group. Is that a challenge that this committee would like to do? I got a lot of head shaking of yes. I don't see any no's. So Lewis, I think Mecklenburg County may just take on that challenge and
well, we'll keep track of it. We'll keep track of that data and we'll watch that curve go down. And hopefully Wake will catch up and then they'll do the same thing.
Well, you know, they always coattail on Mecklenburg, so I'm sure they'll get in on it.
I had to throw that out for your sake, Raj.
But I'm glad to see that biggest majority of everybody was in agreement with that. And again, it still goes back. Tammy keeps holding her phone up to her ear. Communicate. Communicate with each other. I mean, Josh, how many times have I called you? I'm not even going to talk to Ray and Sam. I texted Ray a month ago and he still ain't answered back, but you know, Oh, now he says calling. But when you can come to these meetings and make those connections, and I was picking with George about calling him, but George answers my call, Don does, and they're willing to help. You know, George might say, hey, I'm hung up on something. It'll be about 45 minutes. What's 45 minutes? You know, a contractor may look at it and say, that's about $5,000. Okay, what if you hit that line? What's it going to cost you? You know, if we all take the time to communicate and call when we're not sure on something, it's going to save all of us in the long run. Jason, you got anything you want to add to that from another contractor standpoint?
No, not really. You got it.
Appreciate that.
What's the cost if somebody gets hurt? That's the most important question.
You can't put a number on that.
Exactly.
You know, and you're exactly right on that, especially with electric or gas. You know, you could potentially lose a whole crew, not just one person, but you could potentially lose a whole crew. And look at that expense versus shutting down for an hour to make sure everything's located. And like I said earlier, a lot of these facility owners know they got stuff in the ground, but they don't know where it's at. And a lot of times that excavator finds it for them and they're able to get it. Hopefully they're not showing them both ends of it, but that's happened.
Lewis said that most important point, safety first. Let everybody go home to their families at the end of the day.
Y'all see that Lewis put up there? And that's the truth right there. That is the number one thing. If you've never dealt with having to go meet a family because that employee's not going home that day, and when you go meet them, you're not only meeting their spouse, you're meeting their kids, their grandkids, and they're all looking at you and it's your fault. Doesn't matter what happened, it's your fault because you're the one there. I hope that never happens to anyone in here. If it has, I understand how you feel, been there, done that, do not want to do it again. But that is a bad deal when that family is looking at you saying it's your fault. Your fault that he's not coming home or she's not coming home. So if we all work together, everybody, as Lewis says, we can all go home at the end of the day. And that is our number one goal, for everyone to go home at the end of the day. I'll get off that soapbox there for him.
It's a good soapbox.
And we'll move on. Any questions on the numbers that we were looking at? That was a good question you had too, though, because it don't seem like a lot, but in a way it does. But we know how many counties in North Carolina? 100 counties. We know people's not reporting it. I think they're scared to, or they don't have a ticket, and that's how they're going to get caught.
How many are professional groups compared to homeowners?
Did we look at that? His question is how many of the damages were by professional excavators and how many damages was done by homeowners? I think we looked at that number.
So yeah, we do have some data from that, but once again, depends on what they provided within the damage report. So yes, we do have those numbers, but I don't have them with me.
And this is Mark. Do you have data on who's reported that is installing natural gas? I'd like to make sure that our contractors are reporting damages.
So, I mean, as far as the name, no. But whatever damage data that was reported to us, we do replicate the CGA collection form.
Okay, so you wouldn't be able to tell me if I had a
Yes, sir.
specific contract. Because that I just want to double check behind just to make sure.
Yes, sir. I'm not at home.
Okay.
Hey, David. David.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Sorry about that, Mark.
And I don't care, but David's not at home. I know that. Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah. Any other questions on that before we move on to damages? Or us not go to damages yet, but what about special projects or anything like that? How many of us run into traffic trying to get here today? For those of you that don't know, it's his fault. Brett, anything you need to bring up?
So I'll call it the Uptown Cabaret site, that job or that project has started. They should have their site fencing up. Tomorrow, the library redevelopment block is supposed to begin their project, so they should put site fencing up at the I think it's the 400 block of 300 block of North Tryon. And then obviously just the Pearl project's hot and heavy down there at Baxter and McDowell. They've run into some utility concerns with their storm infrastructure that they have to install. Other than that, I mean, you see every parcel in Charlotte's getting developed, so it's hot and heavy. That's all I can basically tell you.
Wait a minute, everybody.
So I noticed as I was driving in, I don't know if anybody counted, I counted 14 cranes. And I'm sure I missed quite a few, but just as you drive back through downtown, take a look. I mean, as Brett said, there's work everywhere. As I was entering off of Clanton, I know Duke's replacing some poles. I'm sure that's to you all with Pike there. I saw a big crew on Albemarle for utility lines construction. I'm sure pole replacement. So obviously there's work everywhere.
With that too, that keyed something else in my head. Setting this stuff up, look at your work zones. Make sure they're set up properly. I hope, or I'm sure a lot of y'all seen about a month ago, a superintendent with ST Wooten was hit and killed inside the work zone. And that was here locally. There's a subcommittee that has been put together with the AGC to work on work zone. Jason, I'm looking for you for help with this one. Coming to you.
So the AGC Safety Committee, we started a subcommittee. We're going to work with the North Carolina legislature and trying to get the ability to use blue lights in our construction areas instead of just the amber lights. It is a program that they use in Texas with it's done very well protecting their workers and stuff in sites, slowing down traffic. Obviously, with everybody starting to with everybody going back to work and getting back on the road, traffic is worse as it's been in the last 3 years. And if you just take 10 minutes to stand and watch the traffic as it goes by, it'll be easier to count the amount of people that aren't on their phones than the people that are. I mean, and nobody's paying attention. So what the AGC is doing, we're just gathering data right now, and then we're going to submit that to the legislature and see if we can't do some stuff to secure up our work zones.
Thank you, Jason. Anything we can do to protect our employees is number one. Let me keep moving around for projects. All right, wait a minute. Here, you got to speak into this because I can't nobody hear you.
You were mentioning about communication earlier. Is there any way that if they put a contact on a ticket, you have the caller contact and then email, and you have reached out to the caller and the contact and there's no response or from the email? Is there something with 811 where you could tell them, hey, this company isn't providing a contact that's answering, or I didn't know how that goes about if you have a constant utility company that, okay.
Rogers are running back and forth today. Okay, so to answer that question, you're given two different locations within a ticket to provide that. Certainly reach out to us if they're a web TMS user. I'm sorry, if they're an RTE user, let Tammy or myself know. We can certainly reach out to them and let them know the issue. But I would encourage you as a member providing response, use your positive response code 32. Locate not complete, additional communication with the excavator required. You are unable to contact the excavator. So utilize your positive response system. Certainly reach out to us to help you communicate with them, because certainly if there's an issue, we want to correct that.
I was gonna say too, is look at them email addresses. It may just be a company email address and it just goes in that and nobody looks at it. Not until something happens and they go, oh, they did respond. But to go back to that too, that's a great point, because when these tickets are being put in, put a good contact in there. Don't put the person in the office that does nothing but updates tickets. That's not a good contact. They don't know what's going on in the field. So I would always say put a field representative as your contact on there. Oh, I thought she was handing out money. I thought that was that $100 card there that Lewis was giving out.
Good contact on this for this if they were in.
Well, with the updates, if they're using like Update Lite, all they have to do is put that ticket number in and update it. So that information's not going to change. It'll just come right off of what's already there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That vicious cycle. That's where you just going out there to the job and say, hey, I've been trying to call you for a week or two or whatever, and I don't disagree with you. Kyle, you look like you might have something on your mind.
Keep it silent for now.
All right. Anybody else got any special projects, big projects? I should have known. Middle of the room. Which one of y'all was gonna talk about it?
I got a project that's going on, take place here in the next several months over off Redmond Road and Albemarle Road. And I've got a unclaimed duck bank out there. We have soft dug it and whatnot, but I've talked to everybody on the 811 ticket. I've talked to everyone on the 811 ticket. Nobody's claiming this duck bank, so the only option that I have at this point would be to crack into it unless somebody can come forward. Pick it up. Oh.
Most people would do. So, it's off of Redmond Road.
723 Redmond Road.
Yeah, so anybody that's interested in not getting their duck bank cut might want to reach out to us.
5723 Redmond Road. He even reached out to
Boy, isn't this a great meeting? Brought up this issue. Our representative from USIC is on it right now. Our representative with Duke Power's on it right now. And you know, it'll be somebody's that ain't even in here, but hopefully we can get two eliminated. No, thank y'all. That's what these meetings is about. Anybody else on big projects, special projects? Pray not the short bus, buddy. We you all right? Go ahead, Jason.
Well, since I spoke for the AGC, I'm also vice chair of the NUCA Safety Committee. So I have to throw our plug in as well. If you haven't made it out to our safety committee meetings, we're going to be traveling around the state. I believe we're going to be in Greensboro the next, and in Raleigh in the fall. If you'd like to come out for that, we certainly would appreciate that. It's a lot of contractors. So, you know, just to reach out, we talk a lot we're doing a lot about excavation safety. And the one thing that we spoke to a little bit in our last meeting was, you know, once a utility is located, it's still the contractor's responsibility to find that utility and not just start digging, with a piece of equipment. So, you know, we get into the 811 stuff a lot and the safety on that. It's everybody's responsibility. And like Roger said earlier, you know, we can point fingers at the end of the day, but if somebody gets injured, then we've all lost. There's no winner in that. So, but anyway, if you haven't been to a NUCA Safety Committee meeting, we will put you on the list and give you an invite. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Any other special project? Now, you didn't have nothing a while ago while I was over there. Yeah, y'all killing me.
Scott Sherrill here, Hyper Networks. Most of you guys know we're one of the main contractors for Google. We're just started a huge project in Huntersville. We're probably going to be there for a year or two. So look forward to working with anybody up in the Huntersville area, all the municipalities and anyone else. Have any questions, any problems, please feel to reach out to myself or Jim. He had to go take a call. We also starting a little small project down off of Pineville Matthews Road. I think we're working with some, going to be working with some Sands folks. I hear there's some unlocatables down there. So just found that out earlier this week. So looking forward to working with these guys. But yeah, bottom line is we're here. We attend these meetings. We're your friends, not your enemies. You see any of our guys doing anything wrong, taking any shortcuts, please let us know. And if you have any problems, questions, concerns, just reach out.
You hit the nail on the head by working together, letting everybody know. Anybody else on? What are you pointing at? Guy Smith, you got something?
I do indeed. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
All right. The wanted to give everybody the heads up. I'm sure locators and so forth, all the facility operators are aware of all of the construction work that's going on out at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport. And for those who may not be aware, the fourth parallel runway project has kicked off, and the early grading and stockpiling site work is underway. And just a very brief overview of the project. It's a 5-year project. It involves the relocation of West Boulevard at the south end of the airport. That will be the existing West Boulevard will be abandoned, and Byram Road will be upgraded to handle traffic that is currently on West Boulevard. So you're going to see many tickets over the next few years with regard to everything that's going on out there. I just wanted to give everybody the heads up that has now gotten underway, and be prepared.
Thank you, Guy. For those that don't know, you know, the airport's their own little entity. And they're always working, always growing. But wow, that's a 5-year project. Well, that's huge. Who you
Yeah,
pointing at?
It is, and I have the I've been tasked with the utility coordination for the overview on the project. So you know, I'm sorry I couldn't get there to your meetings today, but for those who don't know me, I do chair the Wake County UCC meetings. And I've been involved in damage prevention for quite a few years, working closely with Parrish and Sandra Johnson, Court. You know, I know Court is on this call today, but I look forward to getting down there to see folks in person and work on this project over the next 5 years and be sure everyone is safe and we don't inconvenience the public or get any workers on the site harmed as we begin this project.
All right, thank you again, Guy. And you can use that project as an excuse to come down to the best UCC meeting there is, but we'll let you come in.
Already, just have some coffee available. But you know, up at the Wake County UCC, we do lunch. When are you guys going to start doing lunch?
When you come down and sponsor it.
Ah, okay.
Hey, Guy, I got a question for you. When you guys call in the tickets for the airport, do you, I guess, request them to use like a GPS coordinate? Because when they call in the 5501, it's a huge parcel. So I wasn't sure if that would help with kind of narrowing it down where they're at.
Well, one of the things that I hope to do in my involvement, I have a very specific involvement, and there are many stakeholders involved with this project, from design teams and all of the fancy engineers, all the way down to the guys that are doing traffic control and have shovels in the dirt. Hopefully, at some point, I'll be able to put the appropriate people in contact with one another and work together to facilitate appropriate use of the 811 system, as you indicated, and then of course the timely and accurate designation of utilities that are out there.
That answer your question. Okay. Anybody else on? Oh, go ahead, Guy.
I was going to say that's a long-winded political answer to the question, but that's the best I can do at the moment.
All right, anybody else online got any special projects they want to bring up or talk about? All right, moving along then. Who's going to do Piedmont's damage report for last month? Who? You got it? Oh.
Yeah, Joel had to leave for another meeting. Gas damages per PRG reported were 56 damages. Compared to March, that's an increase of 6 damages. 79% of those damages were gas related.
Tickets? Did they have ticket? Oh, he didn't. What? What you need? 79%
of the damages were gas related. He said that damages per PRG reports were 56 damages. Compared to March, that was increased by 6.
Dan might be able to answer that question right here, Ray.
I don't think that's right. So on the Duke Electric side, we had 38 damages altogether, an assortment of all kinds of power related, the whole shebang. So
yeah, I think that is a combination because that's a lot. You probably had 38 and then the gas only had the 20, whatever the difference was in that. No. Come on now. Yeah. Do we flip a coin at who from Charlotte Water's giving? Tracy's gonna do it. Oh, Lord. Y'all passing that thing around like it's a hot potato.
All right, so at Charlotte Water, we had 10 mains hit, 22 services hit. That's water. Sewer, we had 2 mains hit and 1 service hit. As far as our stuff. Us hitting other people's stuff, we had 1 Windstream line hit, 4 Spectrum lines hit, 1 Dookie line hit, 1 Piedmont line hit, and 5 AT&T lines. And I don't know if they were marked or not. I didn't write that down. I know.
This ain't your first meeting, even though you
Well, whatever.
You know, we like to know where they marked, did they have a ticket and all of that. That's your homework for next month. Don, can you not do nothing with her? I know. Kyle, you got anything yet? Let me come back to you. You still thinking? All right. Hey, Kevin, what you got, bud? What y'all working on?
Just general projects, engineering. If anybody needs any type of engineering, we're glad to help.
Ken, do you got anything? All right, USIC. All right, I'm gonna sit beside it. We might be here a while.
So we had 88 damages last month. I'm not going to go through the individual damages, but the majority of our damages were for AT&T drops, unfortunately. But that's what I got for the month. No, not too much.
Those damages, did they have tickets and stuff?
We are.
Okay. We move on. Blaine, you got anything?
Yeah, unfortunately, we had 3 damages and they were all Charlotte Water. The good thing is, I think Tracy's coming to our office tomorrow to speak to some of our guys about that. I don't know if fault's been completely determined yet. Some of it is a little bit of both. I think we snagged in the same day on the same project 2 abandoned water services, which was kind of a fluke. And then the other one was drilling near a meter box and hit a line that passed under it that was unaware. So
She's coming to y'all's office tomorrow. Well, I mean, that's good. But and I liked you saying that, Blaine. The reason being is that just proves right there. And I'm gonna go back to this committee is the relationships you make. Now y'all are working together. Charlotte Water's coming to y'all's office and all of that. So kudos to y'all. Hey, I'm not gonna speak for them, but I'm sure if you call them and ask them, they'll be there. If not, let me know. I know their boss. And no.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm Daniel Dempsey with Charlotte Water. The only issue, not even really issue that I brought up, I probably spoke to many of you on the phone. You normally talk to me directly with the Code 55s. First, let me say that when our guys are out locating, they're not trying to do it to slow your work down. We have projects that we're looking at right now that we've had major mains be scored for a long stretch, and we're still trying to figure out what utility putting it in did it. Just know if it wasn't clear before, when we code 55 it, if anyone is under any misconception of what's to be done, if you're crossing that main, which is normally a 16-inch or larger or 4 sewer main, if you're crossing it, it must be spotted before you complete your work. Or wherever we put our blue line mark at, if you're working inside of 10 feet of that line and you're going parallel to it, it must be spotted every 50 feet. I assure you, as soon as you have it open, you're not going to be waiting long. I'm the first name you see listed on that email. If you call me, I'm going to get somebody over there, or George is going to get somebody over there to make sure we have it verified to get you guys back to work. Many times during the day when I get these calls, I hear, in all my years of working, I've never seen this email, yada, yada, yada. We don't have the equipment to do. I assure you that's not on us to expose it. Our main is already in there and is active. So if you work with us, we're gonna do our best to work with you. Like I said, that code 55 is not put in to try to slow you guys' work down. We've come across over the last few years quite a bit of our larger stuff that when it gets hit, no one knows who did it or how it happened, but yet there's utilities right by it. So we're just trying to work together to make it easier for you guys to know where the larger stuff is and we can avoid it being damaged. You guys can get your work done. 16-inch.
You got something, Don? You spinning around like you got something you want to say? Okay, I'm gonna sort of coattail a little bit on your code 55. For the ones that don't know, there's certain lines in Charlotte that if you hit, you've shut half of the city down. Would that be a fair way to put that? So for them to put that code 55 on there, even the 16-inch lines could feed a quarter of of Charlotte. So with that on there, it is important because they may already have another line shut down, another main shut down for repair or inspection or something. Then when that one's hit, you mess around and shut the whole city down. I'm glad you're agreeing with me, Don. But you know that, and I'm gonna say that's the reason y'all doing that is to protect everybody. You know, was talking about that. Everybody likes to, when they turn that handle for something to come out of it at the sink, or when they push that other handle, they like to see it go down. Clint, y'all got anything from Vermeer?
Proud to report 0 damages. No. That's right. No, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we're an equipment dealer. I mean, most things are still on back order as far as the large equipment. Got plenty of inventory for, you know, utility locators, pneumatic piercing tools, and starting, what is it, July for the vac trucks. We're gonna have a lot of new models coming in. If anybody's interested in a demo, please reach out. So. What's that? Oh, they're on that.
That's that back order. Robert, y'all got anything else? Christian, y'all got any? You got anything? Just happy to be here.
Just happy to be here.
Making all these connections. That's right. I know you do.
I do actually. Well, I'm really just here to try and figure out what we can do to help the tickets get cleared on time. Like as the contractor, that really costs us thousands and thousands of dollars when tickets are taking 2 weeks to get cleared. So that's why I'm here. I'm just trying to figure out what we can do to help locators get these tickets cleared.
Have you reached out to them two ladies sitting over there on that side of the room? Okay. I'm on your side on this. I, I had to ride the fence on this. Right now I'm on your side because we understand that too. And Jason, he'd probably be on our side too, that it does cost money when those tickets aren't cleared. Watch him push me away. But now let me move over here on the locator side for a minute. They're just like everybody else in the country. Are you full staffed? You're full staff. You're the only company I know of. I don't know how you done it. Again, I'm on both sides of this. Everybody's short staffed. They're 1,500 tickets a day. Don, you didn't even talk about that and you was going to. Y'all are at about the same thing also. So we'll move up here. How many locators you got for Mecklenburg County?
Well, total we have 100, probably 40 now. But that's for North and South Carolina. But we are understaffed. But like you said, we're getting 1,500 to 2,000 tickets every single day. And we don't just locate one utility; we locate just about everything. So, best advice I can give you is calling in a 3-hour or an emergency. I'm sorry, not an emergency, a 3-hour rush. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to say that. I can give you my card as well. Dan, yeah, I mean, we try our best to get to you as soon as we can, but volume is just, a lot.
How many tickets per locator? Do y'all remember? How many locators you have just in Mecklenburg County for 1,500 tickets of that West North County?
Probably around 60.
Hey, y'all people just got them engineer things behind y'all's name, y'all figured out. What, and you gotta think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that's why I'm standing here, but add those 1,500 tickets, is that all just new tickets, or does that count the emergency tickets that come in? For damages and stuff like that, updates? All that was on there. But if it's a damage ticket that comes in, is that on that also? Or an emergency ticket, or however they call that? It is. Yeah. Well, I, that's a common sense thing, just about, if you think about it. What's that, Ray? Wait a minute. 15 something per day. Yeah. How many people? Yeah, but that's not all in Charlotte. Josh, what y'all got for Heath? Oh, you good at point. Cody, why is he putting at you all?
Because I do all of Charlotte now. I got lucky. All right, so for Central Zone, which is Charlotte for us, whatever, for April, the dam just kind of confused me because Joel said, what, 56 reported or something like that? Yeah. There was actually 94 total damage accidents or incidents with gas related to PNG. That 94 includes anything from private side gas leaks to abandoned lines just being reported, or I smell gas. Some of these are just a leak sometimes. That's how many reported PNG has total as far as for or April. Yep. Now, as far as, let's see here. Yeah, it does everything. Put ourselves underneath the bus real quick and then see how many we said we're at fault for, because I'm sure people will love to know that. No, we'll be nice and tell everybody. So for Charlotte, we said we were in charge or at fault for 16 of the damages for locates. Yep. Or for us, it's mostly been just not even marking it. A lot of these locators now, because they got so many locates to do per day, they're actually just trying to skim by or to cut the code. Basically try to change the scope to fit the work. I wish it was. Hadn't any many of those at all. Yeah. 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 But that's what we got for damages at fault from April. Total locators we have completely for Charlotte is just 38. That's how many we got for Piedmont Natural Gas. Now, I don't know what that comes out to math wise for 1,500 people, but somebody can do it. Maybe if he wants to. 40. So it's about 40 per locator. Yeah, because it's transmissions. Yeah. Yes, they're still looking at 32 per locator. That's why we're busy. No, I got but I got an example like what he's getting at to getting locates done on time. It's like we were talking before, it's helping us out with some of these locate requests. If you don't actually need it now, don't call it in. I talked to Duke Power about one this morning. They're changing overhead to underground on Wilkinson Boulevard. Now I talked to the contractor. The contractor says the job's not gonna start till the winter. But we have 22 project style tickets across Wilkinson Boulevard to be located. So it's still in planning. Right, and that's their goal is to give us time to do it all. No, it's actually locate, like I can dig on it whenever I want tickets. A survey ticket. All right. No, you're not. Yeah. Right. I was just saying that like that comes along to the guys of like if we don't have communication on like determining when that job can be done, like it's fine now. We'll have this job in for the next 5 months. We told the guy, we'll do 2 tickets at a time for each update. As long as you're willing to understand, don't go out there because you can legally dig whenever you want. Because we have to sit there and take the risk on the other 20 tickets each time the updates come in. If we don't want to take any risk at all, our only option is to locate all 22 product style tickets on Wilkinson Boulevard when no digging is taking place. I mean, it's a big mess across the board, but yeah. We can, but I also, on my end as a contractor locator, I have compliances I have to meet. So I have to meet a 98% compliance for positive response for Piedmont Natural Gas. And I also have to meet a critique completion of 92%. If I don't meet those metrics, P&G can say like, you're not fulfilling your contract, here's our fines, or even worse, we don't have a contract anymore. So like it puts us in a weird dilemma of I gotta please the contractor, but still please my client while protecting their facility the best I can. So those revolving doors are the 3 I work with, and the constant measure is open the swinging door as the contractor, the next swinging door is my client, the next swinging door is my employees. Like you said. Valid every time. Yep. I mean, technically after 72 hours you dig, I'm still not the one that fought for it. Big thing. We have to prove it, yeah. Right. Damn, bro, you act like you know something.
Unlike USIC, we don't have that number. We're locating, true, it's only one utility, but we're locating with 18 locators. And we have a couple of new ones right now, so we're trying to train them as best as possible to get out there. Our protocol, we tell guys is if you use a code 60, every time that ticket comes in, I need to talk to Blaine. Not, I talked to Blaine in March, and then here it is May, and I'm using March's conversation. That's one part. Another thing is the communication. I know you spoke on how can we get the tickets closed faster. I'll use, like, we're not calling names, we're not even gonna do location, but I know for a fact I had a project being located that was well over 3 miles. And this company had 5 boring crews out there split out along this. I only have one locator, unfortunately, to work that area. And the simple communication was, which areas are you starting on first so we can get that marked so you guys can at least get going. But you have 5 borers and they're all located and she's one person. So certain situations, we're doing our best to work with you, but if a ticket is a quarter mile and the first time she locates it, no one has any information. And then the second time it's, oh yeah, we're only working on that side of the road. That would have been great to know the first time, and we could have stayed ahead of this and keep you guys working and keep those tickets closed out.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. And that goes back to the descriptions on these tickets. If you're only working on one side of the road, why call in both sides? Or the intersections is always a thing too. You're only working on one corner, but they want the whole intersection located. You know, if we would all work on that, getting that description better, then it would benefit you because it would speed these locators up to be able to get all of these tickets. So it's trying to think of how to put this. You got a compass on your phone, so you could say to or the easiest way is to white line where you want it located at with your name and date. White line. Yeah, but on these intersections and stuff though, white lining would really help. Then it doesn't matter. It does matter though, if you do put north corner, south corner, east corner, northwest corner, whatever. But if we went out there and white lined it and got our initials and the date on there, and I'm not picking on y'all, but I'll move here. But when y'all get out there to locate, there's the white line. So that's pretty much saying right here's where they need it because they only said the northwest corner. So this is the northwest corner. Uh, One, I'm gonna say, and I'm on their side on this, they white lined it, their description in that ticket was probably spot on. So it made it a lot easier for y'all. Jason, you got anything from state that, okay, before I move back over here? All right. Don't raise your hand here in a minute. I'm gonna throw it at you.
Everything. And I still get calls from locators asking what we're doing, even though there's description in the ticket and everything. And it's white line.
On, and I'm, Josh, I'm gonna ask you, buddy, because you know, you don't take it personal, but when they pull these tickets up, is everything right there? Or do they have to go to another page and, or is it all just right? Yeah. Okay. So they're just not reading all the way down. See, I'm on your side on this.
Well, every ticket usually says, the areas, white line, white state, whatever, blah, 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 but 9 times out of 10 it's not. It always says that it is on there, but you got people like Compass who actually do
Mhm.
matches.
So everybody needs to use the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Would that be, I mean, all right, Trish.
Projects are coming up in the backyards of properties now. Have locators been having issues with access? And
But the right of way may be back there. It's not just necessarily their backyard. What, can you answer that one, Dan, from a facility? Your opinion.
I think I kind of agree with both Blaine and Bo, but if I think if the excavator calls for a locate to be done, if he calls the entire property, then it's the excavator's responsibility to get them access to that entire property. But it sounds like what Blaine's got going on, he's doing something like in the front where he's not doing anything in it. So I don't know that I would put that on him for that part. I think everything's a little different.
Still, still goes back to the facility owner getting with them so they can get with that homeowner. Mm-hmm. To make it locatable. I'm not aware of anything being in there on that. And I can tell you from our standpoint, we give a facility 6 months and then we cut it. Yes. On an unlocatable line that they didn't know where it was, they thought it was somewhere else, and then we hit the line. Okay, so, but we stayed out of that area for, and I can pull it up, but it was right at 6 months. Mm-mm. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
So what, like, I never. I think you guys have.
For gas. Yeah. Same thing, but two different organizations. But you saying on your unlocatables, y'all, when it's turned over to Sam, right, y'all have to do y'all's locate ticket, then y'all can go out there and do whatever you can to make it locatable.
Got it down to like 40 something right now, but it turned out to be instead of, like, we got one, but I got the other ones get figured out still. So that's also part of the issue, is communications on them. What I found out was, it ain't really so much, I told him the same thing this morning, it unlocatable, whereas it was just our locators not being managed and it was undesirable. And I was just being straight up honest with you. Like, I started working on them. A great one, and we've went through a bunch of them. Right.
We're gonna move on and y'all can, after the meeting, keep on about the unlocatables. Anybody online got anything? Mark Worth, you got anything?
Okay, you talked me into it. And of course, we only have a little bit of Mecklenburg County. And so far through the end of April, we've probably had about 5,000 tickets, 13 damages. Of those 13 damages, 4 were on us. And we had 2 damages with no locate request. That's all I
That's
have.
not good, but it ain't bad either. So, were you
It
able to
isn't
reach out?
good.
Were y'all able to reach out to those contractors that didn't have tickets?
I'm letting Mr. Panzer handle that one for me.
Okay.
No, we have not directly reached out to them. It's more of a manpower thing than anything else. I'd say it that way. If it was in Raleigh or Asheville, Trevor or Richard would have.
Okay. Alan Burris, you have anything? Alan, going once?
No, I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it.
All right. Carl, I usually leave you till last, but I can see your name up here on the screen. You have anything from the board side or Charlotte Water side?
Well, the only thing I'd like to remind folks of, just to give y'all a heads up, thanks, Roger. Y'all will see some additional work being done out there with the lead and copper rule. So we'll be doing some potholing behind the meters to verify service, water service types. So just a heads up on that. So So y'all be seeing some locate requests for those things. But other than that, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, thank you, Carl. And again, we appreciate you being on here.
Hey, no worries. Thank you. Thanks, Roger.
Okay. Matt, you have anything?
No, sir, just kind of echoing what the other locate companies are saying. We in Charlotte, we have 3 internal locators that handle all of Lumen's fiber optic cables throughout the city, and they stay pretty busy. We haven't had any underground damages in the Mecklenburg County recently. We will be probably next month. I'll have more information on it. We do have a big overbuild project coming through on our Legacy Quest route, which runs with the railroad track. It's probably gonna be starting in the next 3 or 4 months, and it's gonna start in Charlotte and work towards towards Virginia Beach, and then the other direction towards Atlanta. But that's still a couple months out. It's still in the bid process right now. And as far as wait times for locates to be cleared, if anyone ever has an issue with lumen locates or the lumen code not clearing, I believe it's LEV code is our member code with 811. Just reach out to me and we can get a locator out there as soon as we can to make sure you guys can get to work.
All right, thank you, Matt. Brian Barrett, you have anything?
No, but if I can get the address of where they were saying that duct, those 2 guys, one's wearing like a yellow hat. What was the name of that road and how's it spelled?
Wait a minute, I'm getting back here to him, Brian, so you can hear him.
All right.
It's 5723 Redmond Road, Reddman Road in Charlotte.
And what companies needing to know?
City of Charlotte Stormwater is who they represent, and they're trying to figure out whose duct bank that is.
Okay. All right, I'll take a look at it. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything else? You knew what I was looking at. I know, I just seen that. I'd like to recognize somebody. I don't have any plaques. I don't have, and I'm not giving you $100 gift card that Lewis said I was, so that ain't gonna happen, but I don't have any certificates or anything like that. But this person has been a key role or role model, however you want to put that, with this committee. And I'm gonna have a pair of socks to give them. But again, has been a key role in this committee, has helped out with it a lot, shares information, is willing to help no matter what it is. And with that, I'm trying to think of what else to say before I say it, but Don, how long you been with the city? 10 years. And in the service period, how long you been in? That's before half of your row was even born. That was before probably half the people in this room was born. Uh-huh. And a lot of times that old stuff works better than them electronics do. How many times have you done that? But I know you're counting down. You got what, a month left, give or take? June 30th. Today's May 31st. You got less than a month. You can't hear him. All right.
I will be walking out the doors of Charlotte Water on June the 30th and waking up at the beach July 1st.
It's the 28th. Well, just in case I'm not here, thank you for your service and everything that you have done. Even for this committee, not just Charlotte Water, but for the Mecklenburg UCC. Thank you for everything. I do look forward to seeing you the 28th, but good Lord willing, I'll be here, you know, and you'll be here and the rest of us will be here, but we don't ever know. But I just want everybody online to know that and everybody here to know that you have been a vital part and we really do appreciate everything. Was I right on the 28th? I thought that's what you told me without looking. Next month, June 28th, the meeting will be here, 10 o'clock till whatever. Guy, you can sponsor it if you want to, we'll let you, but honestly, like Guy said, if anybody wants to sponsor lunch for that day, I'm sure everyone in here would appreciate that. And if not, we understand. But we do look forward to seeing all of you here June 28th, 10 o'clock, with or without lunch. Is that fair? All right. Everybody have a safe day, and we'll see you next month.
If there is, I don't know where it is. Apparently,